Montana Governor Steve Bullock had a busy day one on the presidential campaign trail in Iowa, and his jam-packed schedule continues today. MTM's Mike Dennison is there too and has more on what's on tap for the governor today.
Governor Bullock heads out today on the first part of a two-day tour to 7 communities in eastern Iowa. He'll hit 4 cities today. He'll visit Tiny Tama, where he'll meet with a Native American community, and then he'll finish up at Dubuque on the Mississippi River, a Democratic enclave. Along the way, he'll be meeting with voters who are beginning to decide who to support in Iowa's first in the nation presidential caucus next February. We'll have a story tonight on what those voters are thinking and saying about Governor Bullock. In Iowa, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Governor Bullock made his first pitch for president at a brewery in Des Moines Thursday night, where he was introduced by the state's attorney general, who also gave Bullock his endorsement. About 150 people showed up for the event, including those who tell us they'd been contacted by the Bullock campaign and are shopping around for the best candidate who can beat President Donald Trump. Bullock talked about his opposition to dark money and the need to give people a fair economic shake, but he got one of his loudest cheers of the night, talking about the ultimate goal for the Democratic Party in 2020.
We are here for a unifying reason. For the sake of our country, for the sake of our country's standing in the world, and for the sake of the nation that we hand off to that next generation, we're here to make sure that Donald Trump does not get reelected again.
Governor Bullock is one of nearly 24 Democrats seeking the party's 2020 presidential nomination. In Missoula District Court, a jury found a transgender Frenchtown woman guilty on all counts for the killings of her 2 roommates and burning their bodies beyond recognition. Caressa Hardy was found guilty on 2 counts of deliberate homicide and 2 counts of solicitation for murder. The defense claimed the only evidence the state had was a witness testimony, which they said wasn't credible enough. In the end, the jury sided with the prosecution. A Billings man is sentenced to 10 years in prison after robbing a pregnant casino attendant at gunpoint. Antonio Gutierrez was found guilty in the armed robbery of Dottie's Casino on Shiloh Road back in February of 2018. Prosecutors say Gutierrez showed up at the casino wearing a hood, hat, and face mask. Gutierrez pushed the buzzer to be allowed in, but the casino attendant told him he had to remove the face coverings before she would open the door. He acted as though he was going to remove the items. The attendant buzzed him in and he left them on. He then took out the pistol, cocked it, and pointed it at the attendant. The attendant, who was pregnant at the time, emptied the till. Another man, Christopher Ezray, pleaded guilty to accessory after the fact for his role in driving the getaway car. A former president of Bozeman's Walleyes Unlimited was charged this week after investigators say he embezzled $45,000 in organization funds. Over the course of 4 years, Todd Mitchell allegedly wrote checks to himself and his personal engineering business from the Walleyes Unlimited account. Mitchell is charged with felony theft of property. The recent whooping cough outbreak on the western side of the state has prompted Missoula City County Health to hire 10 nurses to help fight the epidemic. At last check, the number of cases has risen to 113. This as health departments across the state mobilize and prep their staff to respond. Health experts in Billings say the response is sometimes much bigger depending on testing and diagnosis.
So there's always communication that's happening between the health departments. I think it's a very collaborative state in terms of helping each other. I did reach out to Missoula. They did hire 10 nurses on a temporary basis to be able to respond to this, and really felt like they had that in control.
Whooping cough can turn deadly for infants, and that's why health officials say it is so important to get your child a DTaP vaccine. Then they must continue with booster shots as they grow into their teens, and there's also a booster for adults. A highway sign for fallen Broadwater County Sheriff Deputy Mason Moore was unveiled Thursday near Three Forks. Thursday marked 2 years to the day Moore was killed on patrol. Located at mile marker 109 on U.S. Highway 287, the highway is now designated as the Mason Moore Memorial Highway. Moore's name, badge number, and end of watch now mark the spot where he was killed.
It has now been 2 years since Mason was killed here, and the man that planned his ambush still has not had to answer for his actions. That is not acceptable and is disgusting and devastating to me.
The sign-in designation is possible because of House Bill 156, which passed in this year's legislative session. Now we go to Red Lodge, where after years of splishing and splashing on a hot summer day, the city pool will permanently close. With city funds tight, Mayor Bill Larson says it cost $47,000 to operate the pool for just 5 weeks. The pool is in dire need of costly repairs. It must be repeatedly patched and leaks up to 1,500 gallons of water a day. Now the hope is creating a parks district to reconstruct the pool in the same location. The measure would likely go to voters next November. Well, before we take a break, after 12 seasons of television history, one of the longest running and most successful TV comedy shows ever is over. The Big Bang Theory series finale aired last night. CBS's Mark Liverman has more.
Bazinga! Bazinga! 279 episodes, an infinite amount of laughs in a comedy universe that made nerdy cool. On Thursday night, the cast of The Big Bang Theory said its final farewell in the series' final episode.
I was there the moment Leonard and Penny met. He said to me that their babies would be smart and beautiful. And now that they're expecting, I have no doubt that that will be the case.
Thanks, Sheldon. I haven't told my parents yet, but thanks.
Earning 52 Emmy nominations, the show followed brilliant but socially awkward young physicists Sheldon and Leonard, their geeky gang of friends, and neighbor Penny. The show first aired September 24th, 2007, making it the longest-running multi-camera sitcom ever.
I just wanted to beat Cheers. I hate Cheers. I've always hated Cheers.
You beat him by
So
this
take
much.
that, Cheers.
This much.
The entire cast appeared last night on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
There's a lot of pressure on how to end this, and fans wanted to know what was going to happen, so it was tough, and I think that they did it brilliantly.
The chances of finding a show with this big of an audience over this long a period of time, that's pretty rare.
It will be a tough void to fill and a sad goodbye for the more than 10 million viewers who watch the show every week. Mark Liverman, CBS News.
And according to Variety, The Big Bang Theory has generated an estimated $1 billion and counting in syndication.